After watching a lot of people's reactions to this new Squid Game show on social media, it's pretty clear to me that a lot of these people just don't know how these competition shows work. I mean, the producers are just trying to introduce all this juicy and entertaining social strategy to the game, yet the people that are actually good at playing that way are just getting hate online. I don't get it. Today, I'm going to be talking about the two most interesting challenges in this whole series: marbles and the glass bridge. I'm going to be talking about some of the questionable strategy used in these games and about the controversy that it created outside of the show. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button below just so you can stay tuned as we wrap up this very intriguing show. Now, let's dive in. So the last episode kind of left everyone off on a high note as they enjoyed their picnic. The players had all teamed up and they were all happy and celebrating as they enjoyed their food. But of course, this is Squid Game, so all that joy is about to be instantly ripped away from them. One by one, the players start to slowly realize that the next game is actually going to be marbles. And the room is tense because everybody knows that they are just moments away from ruining somebody's life. Of course, this game is going to be way harder for some pairs than others. For example, Felicia and Ashley have been super close throughout the game. The mood is really sad and somber watching these two ladies play against each other, and in the end, we sadly had to say goodbye to Felicia. Again, I want to praise the editing team here for doing a really good job of building these friendships up and making us care about the people who are eliminated and when they're eliminated and why. But by far, the craziest pairing in this particular challenge is the mother-son duo of Leanne and Trey. At first, I was feeling kind of bad that they had to play against each other and that one of them was going to have to eliminate their own family member, but that was until I found out that they kind of actually paired up together on purpose. Apparently, they actually had a feeling that the marbles game was going to be coming up next, so they decided to stick together on purpose to guarantee that one of them would make it through to the end, which honestly is a terrible plan if you ask me. I would much rather take the risk and give us both separate partners to put us in a position to both make it through the end instead of making that impossible. In the end, Trey is just barely able to pull out the win, leaving his mother to be eliminated. Look, I really like them both as characters and I really loved watching their story evolve this season, but I gotta say, they made some pretty terrible strategic moves throughout this whole game. Like for being in the same line during the cookie, being in the same boat during Battleship, and being partners here. Them sticking so close together could have caused their downfall a bunch of times throughout the season, and it finally did here. Now, there were also some pretty awkward moments during this game, like the confrontation between Jackie and Tim. Jackie talks about how she would use her winnings to help out the deaf community and deaf organizations, and Tim just takes this information and completely flips it around to make Jackie look like the villain.
Are you playing the sympathy card here?
Sympathy card?
Yeah.
Tim.
No.
Tim, what are you doing?
No, because you've not mentioned this. You've not indicated at any point
Tim,
that
we're
you
not
know that.
friends.
Look, I don't know what Tim was trying to do here. I don't know how the hell this was supposed to help him win in a game of marbles. Maybe he was doing this to try to get in her head somehow. I don't know. All I know is it just made him look like a dick to me. In the end, Jackie ends up winning and sends Tim off to be eliminated. We get yet another awkward encounter in this episode between these two players that just can't seem to agree on a strategy.
To keep it as somewhat of a skill, to make it fair, because...
I don't think that makes it fair, dude.
How? That makes no sense. You have to be somewhat reasonable.
Now, a lot was edited out of this segment because apparently they did actually eventually agree on the game, but when it was all said and done, Dylan just wouldn't concede his loss.
This is why I believe that I deserve to be the winner in this game. As you can see, he is throwing with his right hand. We agreed the rules of the game were to be playing with your left hand or your non-dominant hand. That is what we shook on. Obviously, I was looking at the ball and I was not looking at his hand, but you can see he is throwing with his right hand.
Eventually, after failing to come to an agreement, both of the players are taken out, and I was actually kind of surprised that more people didn't go this route and refused to agree. After it was all said and done, half the players are taken out of the game in just this one competition, leaving only 31 people remaining. So now that a lot more time has passed and now that everybody knows each other a little bit more, we're going to start to get more insight to the alliances that are continuing to grow in the game. In particular, the ladies have noticed that they are now hugely outnumbered by the men. So they all decide to link up, and even though they don't really make an official alliance, they do all vow to work together and look out for each other in the future. This is also where we meet Mai, who talks about how growing up during the Vietnam War inspired her to join the military. I think Mai is a really refreshing presence on the show because even though there is a bit of an age gap between her and most of the other contestants, it does not stop her at all from gaining friendships and allies in the game. Most importantly, she is super duper close with TJ, who is being seen as the de facto leader in the group. But all that leadership can come across as bossy, and a lot of times that can really rub people the wrong way. Like, for example, there was this moment where he kind of pressures everybody in the group to pray together, which I totally get. He was trying to remain positive and stay hopeful, but this is also a really diverse group of people, and not everybody may believe the same thing, so it just got kind of awkward. But for now, TJ is going to lead the entire group on the next twist, the chain. Each player must now choose only one person to save, and TJ, of course, chooses his best buddy Mai, even though she has been talking hella shit about him.
I don't trust TJ.
Oh, no, not at all. No, I don't trust him at all.
No. He said he got a pure heart. I don't think he got a pure heart.
Nope.
And Mai is going to step even further into her villain bag when she chooses to save a man instead of one of the ladies, which she promised that they'd all work together. It's kind of okay because all of the ladies do end up getting picked at the end, really evening out the playing field and sending 11 of the men home. When it's all said and done, there are only 20 people left remaining in the game, just in time for the next challenge to start, which is the glass bridge. First of all, I have to say I absolutely love how that claw machine was thrown in as a twist in the game. Obviously, the players have all seen the show before, so they know what to expect with the bridge, so adding that claw machine in as a randomizer really does a good job of evening out the playing field. On top of that, forcing them to assign each other's numbers is an absolutely genius way of adding some social strategy into the game. They didn't have to do it, but they did, and I think the show is better off for it. And as strategy would have it, TJ is assigned spot number 1 since he wants to be the leader so damn bad. And I thought that framing it in this way was an absolutely brilliant move for Jackie since she won't get as much blood on her hands. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Mai is assigned to go last, the absolute best spot in the house, by none other than her best friend TJ. That's right, TJ has saved Mai's ass yet again based on nothing but vibes. Unbelievable. The players all file into the room, and I have to say, this is one of the most visually stunning sets I've ever seen on a reality show. Everything about the scale, the lighting, and the attention to detail blows my mind, and I just want the set designers to get their flowers. Before the game actually starts, the players are going to take a minute to strategize, and we have probably the most shocking moment that I've seen all season. For whatever reason, the players decide to make this a team game instead, with each person making only one jump. This way, the competition will be more evenly stacked and the risk would be spread around the field a little bit more.
18, 19, 20, you guys are lucky ducks. Everyone else has to take one turn. If they're safe, they stop there, and the next player has to overtake them and make the next decision.
Now, it's important to note that not everybody agrees with this decision, but it does look like the majority is going to agree with it.
No, it's every man for themselves. You have to play your game for yourself. That's just the honest truth.
I really didn't like this plan at all because, for one, it takes all of that good, juicy social strategy out the game. And for two, the people in the back gain absolutely nothing from this at all. It just puts them in even more risk. But I guess for the people that are in the front, I do completely understand them wanting to go along with this plan instead. TJ is the first to step up to the plate, and with one big jump, he boldly falls straight on his ass. Obviously, everyone is shaken up, but the plan to work as a team is still seemingly on. Everything is going according to plan until it's Ashley's turn to go. And this is the moment that caused a lot of controversy on social media. I guess people were just expecting Ashley to go jump in front of Trey, even though she never agreed to that damn plan in the first place.
I'm confused as hell because I don't remember agreeing to this. I'm not sacrificing myself when I already have a low number.
I mean, I just saw so many people online saying completely rude stuff to Ashley over this little debacle, and I just can't understand. Putting yourself in front of another person is not good strategy. It's just not the move here. So the first time I watched this, y'all, I really felt for Ashley because the feeling of falling is the worst feeling in the world to me. So I knew that if I was up there, my stomach would be hurting and I would be doing anything I could to avoid taking a jump. But later on, after doing some research, I found out that there was never any risk involved whatsoever because the players never actually fell. As it turns out, they used freaking stunt actors to film all the falls. I don't know about y'all, but this really took some of the magic out the game for me. I did think it was sus that nobody was flailing or screaming bloody murder as they fell, but I also didn't think it would be that vanilla either. Either way, since Ashley's not budging, Trey decides to just keep on jumping until he inevitably falls. Ashley then goes on to make her jump as planned, and the chain continues on. People are starting to look at Ashley sus for not being a team player though. In the end, the glass bridge ends up taking out 8 players, and now there are only 12 more left standing. So of course I want to know, what do you all think of the moves that these players are making? And what do you think about Ashley's decision not to jump in front of Trey? Let me know in the comments below, but try to keep them spoiler free if you can. Once again, make sure you're subscribed below so that you can stay tuned as I recap these last few episodes. But until next time, peace.